Friends, good evening. Thank you for joining us this week to another Gnostic Lab of Practical Application. Our practice tonight is an exercise in clairvoyance. And what we will do is that we will start an exercise that will give us the opportunity to perceive the different vibrations of the ether. These are the TATTVAS of nature. In his writings on the book Endocrinology and Criminology, Samael says, Akash or Akasha is the superastral fire. Sounds condense through the mediation of Akash. The Kundalini serpent is fire and sound. Therefore, no one could incarnate the word, Christ, without previously raising the sacred serpent, because it is impossible to concrete and materialize sound with Akash. This super astral fire is the source from which everything emerges in creation. And we took that from the book Endocrinology and Criminology. For those of you students of the intermediate and advanced levels, this is a book that we encourage you to obtain and to read, but to read with much patience and much meditation. To you, the students who are in the pre-chamber level or who have just recently joined, I would encourage you to get this book as well. However, word of warning, this book is very heavy in content. And experience shows that students who recently joined, as they take this book and they try to read it, they get bored with it too quick and they just toss it aside. So if you would like to get it, by all means do so. Nevertheless, just know that here in this book, Samael gives plenty of detail about the functionalism of different organs of the body and the consequences in terms of the psyche and observable behaviors, etc., from when those organs are not in equanimity, when there is no real balance. And one of the things that is discussed is TATTVAS, as the different vibrations of ether, and the effect in the hormones. For those of you who are not familiar with this word tattva, tattva means vibration, but it is a vibration of a specific substance in nature, and that is the ether. In our pre-chamber lecture on Tuesday, we spoke about tattvas and we spoke about the different vibrations of the ether and how the ether condenses and the vibrations become denser. Well, we see that there is the materialization of different elements. And there is a tattva that is associated to the element of fire, and that is the tattva TATTVAS. There is a tattva associated to the element of water, that is the tattva APAS. A tattva that is associated to the element of air, which is Vayu, and a tattva that is associated to the element of earth, which is Prithvi. And because these substances exist throughout all of creation, we have an opportunity to work with them and see them and help develop our faculty of clairvoyance. Listen what Samael says in terms of tattvas and hormones. He says, ether exists in an igneous state, that is Tejas. Ether exists in a gaseous fluidic state as the origin of air, Vayu. Ether exists in an aqueous state as the origin of water, Apas, and ether exists in a petrous state as the origin of minerals, or Prithvi. When the tattvas, Tejas, fire, Vayu, air, Apas, water, and Prithvi, earth, materialize or condense, we have then the four physical elements, namely fire, air, water, and earth. Our ethereal vital body is made up of tattvas, and we know that the physical body exists and has all of its functions active because of the ethereal body, because of the vital body itself. These tattvas are also associated to the chakras in the body. From our lectures on our lecture on chakras, if you allow me a second for the short recap, we know that these magnetic centers exist wherever we have a plexus in our body. A plexus is a combination of arterial and venous blood and nerve endings together. There are 7 primary chakras within our system. From the top of the head, 1 between the eyebrows, 1 at the level of the creative larynx, 1 in the heart, 1 at the solar plexus, 1 at the level of the creative organs, and 1 at the bottom of the spine. We have these 7 chakras, and these chakras are intimately related to the tattvas. These tattvas, apas, vayu, prithvi, tehas, and akash, which is the one in ether. They enter the chakras and then they pass into the interior of the glands of internal secretion. These tattvas enter the chakras. We learned in our lecture on chakras that each one of our chakras has what we could refer to as a filter. It is known as the Buddhic mesh. And this Buddhic mesh allows only for the most subtle of substances from the astral plane in the 5th dimension to penetrate and to deposit those substances within the gland itself. Those substances are these tattvas. So every one of these key glands in our endocrine system, whether the pineal gland or the pituitary gland or the thyroid gland or the thymus gland or those glands that we have here in our solar plexus, for example, the adrenal glands being one of those, and of course our sexual creative organs, they will receive various proportions of earth and fire and water and air and of course of the ether. When the tattvas are inside these glands, because these glands are micro laboratories within the human body, responsible for receiving blood and all of its constituents, all of its components, and transforming that blood into a different types of substance. That's what they do. Well, as they receive this, these tattvas intensify the work of these glands by transforming their products into hormones. Hormone comes from an ancient Greek word that stands for the longing of being. When our endocrine system is operating at its highest degree of efficiency, we feel amazing. We feel energized. We feel like we can take on over the world. When there are some imbalances, depending on the type of imbalance, we tend to see some ailments or some lacking of things within the physical body. And as a consequence, well, the body does not feel too good. The key here is that as these tattvas penetrate into the endocrine glands of our body, they enter the organism, but they do not leave it. And they do not leave it because some of those substances go into these hormones that are prepared. For us, it is important to know that everything comes from the ether, and eventually everything will go back into the ether itself. And the ether itself is a condensation of this solar superior astral fire, this akasha. This substance, akasha, is the first radiation of Mula Prakriti. Mula Prakriti is the first manifestation of our Divine Mother, the Divine Mother as a cosmic space. This substance, akasha, is the first radiation of Mula Prakriti, which is its root or insipid and undifferentiated primordial matter. Ether exists, condensations of this ether result in the elements, and those elements exist as much outside of us as they exist inside of us. And we have 2 practices through which we can start seeing these tattvas. The first one is given to us by Master Viracocha. Viracocha is Dr. Arnold Krum-Heller. And this is a practice of clairvoyance. He says, you can use your thumbs to seal your ears. You can use your index fingers to seal your eyes. You can use your middle fingers to seal your nose. You see what is happening here. We are depriving the body of all of its senses. Close the ears, close the eyes, close the nose, and you can use your ring and your pinky fingers to seal your lips. As you are doing this, and you are, with your body, very relaxed, you will start seeing the tattvas with your sixth sense. You will see them with the eye of Dagma. One thing that we have noticed in this practice, relaxation is of tremendous importance. If you are squeezing too hard on your eyes and you're putting a strain in your eyes, that strain is going to create a stress in the body that is going to steal away your relaxation. And you're going to develop pain, literally, in your eyeballs. You don't want that. You want to have your fingers in landing enough on these particular organs of the body so that you can deprive the physical machine from that sense, and that's it. So you want your fingers to close your eyes, but you want to keep your eyes relaxed. I will invite you, as your eyes are closed and your fingers are keeping your eyes closed, for you to be applying so little pressure that even though your eyelids are closed, that you are still looking forward as if you were trying to see, just as you're looking at the screen right now. Try that. It has given us the best result. Thumbs in the ears, index fingers sealing our eyes, middle fingers sealing our nose, and then the ring and pinky fingers sealing our lips. Some of you will be able to hold this for around 10 or 15 seconds. Others of you will do it for around 20 or 30 seconds. Very few of you will do it for 1 minute, and even fewer for more than that. Regardless of for how long you can hold this, hold it. And once you're done, exhale through your mouth. Open your nose. Close once again. And you will do this in such a way that you will start noticing colors. And your eyes, particularly, your third eye will be able to perceive colors. At first, everything will be black. But before you realize, you will start noticing yellows. You will start noticing blues. You will start noticing reds, which is an amazing experience. Let me show you the next practice. Yogananda, that great Eastern master, he says, we're going to do the same practice, but cover your chair with a wool blanket. So for those of you who have it, get your wool blanket, set it on your chair. Wool has some very interesting properties, and it kind of insulates you from the environment. If you're going to meditate and you happen to have a wool blanket, now that we're in the fall, going into the winter, cover yourself with a wool blanket, and that will greatly improve the quality of your meditation. So we're going to do the same practice. We're going to cover the chair with a wool blanket. Now that we have done that, on a table, we're going to rest our elbows, preferably on a pillow, so that you are not creating a contact stress point. And as you do this, face east. We will do the same thing. Eyes closed. Close the lips. Seal the nose. Close your eyes. close your ears and mentally chant the mantra Om. Mentally. Om. As you are perceiving. Once you're done, Om. Exhale. Breathe in. And you see, perceive, and listen. Perceive. These are the practices that we're going to do tonight. So if you have your pillow and if you have your wool blanket, you're more than welcome to add that into the practice. And for those of you who don't, we can use the practice from Dr. Krum-Heller. It is just as effective. We're going to seal our ears, our eyes, our nose, our lips, and we're going to allow the physical body simply to perceive. Let's go ahead and start by relaxing our body. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. On your chair, allow your feet to rest comfortably on the floor and rest your hands on your thighs. Let's close our eyes and make ourselves aware of the sensations in our physical body. Take note of anything that may be creating some pressure, some discomfort, and now is a good time to release that distraction. While some of us do that, the rest of us, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. 1, 2. With every exhalation, just allow your body to sink a little deeper onto that chair. 1, 2. Once again. 1, 2. Let's create a circle of protection around us. A circle of protection that is of so much benefit and you could use for us. It is very useful at moments in which we find ourselves in desperation. It is very useful if we find ourselves in a situation where we perceive that there's a danger. And it is also good if somehow you feel, you notice that your psyche has gone a little bit out of control and some inferior emotions are taking the best of you. A good friend recently reminded us on how powerful this mantra is. And this mantra is the mantra Klim Krishnaya. The mantra is Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Kopihana Vayavaya Swaha. Let's say once again that mantra for good practice. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Kopihana Vayavaya Swaha. Let's recite that mantra once again for good practice. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Kopihana Vayavaya Swaha. This mantra always materializes a beautiful flaming star that encloses us. This flaming star always shoos away any tenebrous entities. It also gives us some good protection from many negative emotions that exist within our environment. And when it comes to us, the ones experiencing those negative emotions, well, it helps contain them so that we are not polluting the environment for others. So as you can see, this is very useful. Now that we have recited that mantra, we invoke our innermost by saying, Divine Father, Father of mine, you who are my true being, you who are my eternal God, we are here humbly at your presence, asking of you and begging of you, of your contribution. Divine Father, we ask of you that you grant us of your grace so that we may experience the faculty of clairvoyance. Awaken in us, Divine Father, the eye of intuition. Awaken in us, Divine Father, the faculty of the magical eye, so that we could perceive things that the eyes of the flesh cannot perceive, so that we may be able to see the thing itself and not just be distracted by its appearances. Grant us, Father, this ability by giving us the opportunity to perceive the tattvas of nature. We ask of this in your holy name. So be it. As we have made this petition, we empower our consciousness to work. We invite our innermost to officiate in the practice. And with our eyes closed, we will then focus on relaxing our body. Let's start by taking a few deep breaths. As we continue to allow our physical body just to sink a little deeper on that chair with every exhalation. Let's focus the attention of our consciousness on our toes. And we allow the attention of that consciousness to flow, and we perceive our toes, our heels, our ankles, our shins, our calves, and our knees. And instantaneously, just like that, with no effort, we immediately start feeling that very peculiar softness that comes with a deep relaxation. We receive it with gratitude. And without identifying with it, we once again bring the attention of our consciousness to our knees, the underside of our thighs, to our hips, our glutes, and we bring the attention of our consciousness up to the very base of our spine. It does not take much to perceive that gentle softness, that very peculiar vibration that comes from relaxation extends now from the toes all the way up to our hips. And we perceive it and we receive it with plenty of gratitude. And we do not identify with it, but rather focus the attention of our consciousness once again at the very base of our spine. And very methodically, one vertebra at a time, we allow that attention to start rising up our spine, one chamber at a time. And as we continue breathing, with every exhalation, we feel the release of any tension, of any worries, any preoccupations, just shedding it away from our internal organs. We feel that relaxation extending at the very bottom of our abdomen. And here, as we experience that softness growing in our body, we take a moment to invoke of our Divine Mother. We say, Divine Mother, Mother of mine, we ask of you with our heart and our soul that you bring unto us the Hermetic seal. Close all the doors that may give way to receiving negative emotions. We ask of you, Divine Mother, to close and keep closed all of the doors in our lower abdomen. We ask of you, Divine Mother, that you keep this Hermetic seal so that our body can become a true temple of our being. And as we give infinite thanks to our Divine Mother for the help that she gives us, we feel that relaxation expanding throughout each and every internal organ in our abdomen. And we feel the relaxation of our diaphragm. And suddenly the breathing becomes completely effortless. The exhalations become profound. And the exercise of breathing becomes almost imperceptible. We relax our stomach. We relax our heart. We relax our lungs. And just as we learned in the lecture on the current of sound, we know that in any octave, as the musical notes flow, there is a point where we have no half tones, an indication that there must be a deliberate, willful effort so that we can continue with our travel, so that we can continue with our progress onto the next note. And so we feel that the attention of the consciousness remains a bit stagnant, right at the middle of our back, in between our shoulder blades. So let's take another deep breath in 1, 2. And allow the attention of our consciousness to continue progressing upwards. And we feel that relaxation expanding along our scapulas. We feel that relaxation reaching our shoulders, extending into the muscles of our chest. And even from our shoulders, we see that relaxation cascade onto our elbows, our wrists, our hands, and our fingers. Perceive the gentle vibration that inundates your physical body. This gentle vibration is the signature of a body that is adequately relaxed. And this is the natural state. This is exactly how our body should be at all times. Whether in moments of joy, whether in moments of relaxation, or at moments where we're having critical conversations. Be certain that you can invoke your innermost at any moment, today or during the upcoming days, and ask your innermost to bring back this very same state of relaxation. And he will, instantaneously. We bring the attention of our consciousness to the very base of our skull. That space behind the head, right there in between the two ears. And as you do that, many of you will perceive, even on a physical level, the presence of that force, that relaxation that comes with the consciousness. And from there, we allow that attention of the consciousness to continue expanding along the scalp. And we see ourselves relaxing the muscles of our jaw, our tongue, and our lips. We relax our eyes and our eyelids. We relax the muscles of our face and the muscles of our forehead. And as we do this, we feel the expansion of that attention of the consciousness until it finds itself at the very crown of our head. Use your objective imagination to see that from the crown of your head extends a very gentle ray of light upwards into the infinite heavens. And through that ray of light, like a channel, descends a very gentle blue light that enters into your head and inundates every crevice, every space, every particle existing within your head. And it is a gentle blue light that descends from the head and inundates your heart and inundates your lungs. Because we will be working with this astral fire. Let's sing just 7 times the mantra INRI, the letter I pronounced E. Will bring a gentle vibration to the chakras of the head, particularly that one associated with clairvoyance. The letter N will add a ring, a bell-like ring to that letter I. And the vibration of the letter R will allow our blood to magnetize, to vibrate intensely. Let's do INRI 7 times. E In. Re. In. Re. In. Re. In. Re. In. Re. In. Re. And now that we have done this, let's do the practice of Master Viracocha. We'll bring our thumbs into our ears, close our eyes, seal our nose, seal our lips, and perceive. If at any moment you feel that your body stresses out, it is a good idea to halt the exercise. Say, Divine Father, Father of mine, we ask of you with our soul and our heart that you bring back into our body our previous state of relaxation. And soon enough, you will perceive that gentle vibration once again radiating throughout all of your body. And then we can continue the exercise for a little longer. Divine Father, we give you infinite thanks for the help that you provide us. Thank you for your contribution. Divine Mother, we're infinitely grateful for bringing about the Hermetic seal and closing our doors to any negative emotions. We take one more deep breath in 1, 2. And we gently wiggle our toes and our fingers, and we come back to the exercise. So dear friends, this has been our practice to see the tattwas of nature. Hopefully you enjoyed this practice, and I will encourage you just to practice it for a few minutes every day. If you can do 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, that's phenomenal. More sooner than later, you will start perceiving the different colors of the different tattvas. So friends, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be part of your homes and your families. And to everyone, we wish you a great weekend. May all beings be happy.